Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about genital tuberculosis, and as we know that it is commonly affected the fallopian tubes, and we know that the role of fallopian tubes for the fertilization. So commonest symptoms which are present, that is genital tuberculosis pathology mostly affects to the fallopian tube, then endometrium, then cervix and vagina. So if fallopian tubes are required for the fertilization, pathology to this genital tuberculosis can leads to the infertility. That is the symptoms what we are going to see it. For here what we see that infertility. So most common initial symptom, that is in most large studies that is seen about some 40 to 50% of the patient are suffered from that of infertility. Then what we see close to it, that is the 85% never become pregnant, and 15% develop symptoms of genital tuberculosis within a year of last pregnancy. Lower abdominal pain. So what is it? Is the second common symptom. Why? That is the pain present over for several months. As we know that genital tuberculosis, it is not an acute disease, it is a chronic disease. So whatever the symptoms which are going to present in the genital tuberculosis, like that of the lower abdominal pain, it is going to be for longer duration, and it is associated with that of swelling of the abdomen. Then episodes of acute lower abdominal pain owing to that of secondary infection to that of pyogenic organisms. In advanced disease, pelvic pain becomes severe and gets aggravated by some quakers so during the exercise and even during the menses also. So number of women chief complaint pain is the proportional to the number of women having abdominal findings on the physical examination. That is the symptoms what we are going to see. Next, what are the symptoms that what you are going to see? It is the menstrual disorder. What we see that, so it is a third common symptom, that is the menorrhagia, menometrorrhagia, intermenstrual bleeding, that is the bleeding which takes place in between the menses. Oligomenorrhea. Oligo means having the that is this one. Duration, it is more, that is if the normal female having six times periods, so in oligomenorrhea it is less than the normal. Sometimes there is a postmenopausal bleeding. Menstrual cycle may be normal, that may be superficial. Tuberculosis endometritis does not interfere with that of secretory response of endometrium to hormonal stimulation. That is the what we see in the menstrual abnormalities. Then what we see that amenorrhea, that what we see in that if there is an advanced active pulmonary tuberculosis produce the amenorrhea, but concomitant genital tuberculosis is a rare condition. So there may be some complete destruction of ovary by genital tuberculosis. Then seldom occurs, so ovarian failure is not the cause. End organ failure secondary to endometrial cessation, that is the cause for the amenorrhea. And in most of the patients, what we see that it is about 50% cases are of a normal nature. So on bimanual examination, what we see that if you do the examination, that is what we do it over here. If you do the bimanual examination, on bimanual examination, if there is a pathology, there is a swelling over here, it leads to the adnexal mass or fixation of the part of pelvic organs, and it is less tender. So abdominal examination feels, if you do the per abdominal examination, it feels like Duffy feeling. Duffy feeling, that what we are going to see it. So what are the investigations that what we have to do it? That is the CBC, that is complete blood count, ESR, KFT, C-reactive protein, chest X-ray to rule out the any tuberculosis, pelvic ultrasound, hysterosalpingography, laparoscopy, histopathology. On microbiology, Monti's test, OTG test, serology, AFP, microscopy, and the culture, EA, EB, EC, menstrual blood, urine, 3 consecutive days, smear versus culture, molecular test, and the HIV test, that what we have to do it. So this is the investigation part of the genital tuberculosis.